start at the beginning. We're here with Willie Nelson. He is a 154-pound contender. How do you? Well, that's a good question. How do you make 154 being so high up? How did you decide on this weight? I guess being so tall.
It's actually just for me to make. I'm just say genetics. My father 6'6", like 180. My mother 6'1", she like 135. So pretty much genetics. I don't have to do any severe weight cutting to make the weight. I make 154 easy. So it's just genetics. I'm comfortable with her. So
you're just lucky.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in boxing? What's your first memory of walking into a boxing gym?
Well, my first memory walking into a boxing gym, I was with my amateur coach. He happened to be my mailman, and I've been wanting to box since I was like 4 years old. My first fight I ever seen was Evander Holyfield versus George Foreman, and from me seeing that fight, I just knew I was gonna be a boxer. Like growing up, a lot of people said, "Which one be?" I just said professional boxer. I just say heavyweight champion of the world because that's all I knew at the time.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that my mailman was a boxing coach, and I kept persistently bugging him about taking him to the gym, and he took me one day, and it's been love at first sight. Well, love at first fight.
What was it like that first time getting in there? Yeah, first time sparring, and did you feel like you were at home in a sense?
First time sparring. Man, first time I actually got my head knocked off, but it was fun. Like, it was fun. I liked it. Like, it was fun. I sparred with this kid named Miguel Gonzalez. He's from Cleveland. Okay. And, he was there for like 2 years already. I sparred with him. Like I said, he knocked my head off. Like, he was hitting some good shots. Sparring like probably lasted like a minute, if that. But I just fell in love with it. I came back the next day and just kept coming back.
What is it about boxing that you love? Is it just that it's the ultimate like sport? It's the ultimate single, like it's all about you. There's a team, but it's you.
Well, one thing I love about boxing is not a team sport. Anything that happens is only up to you. I can't blame no one else for my faults. Can't blame no one else for my failure. Only thing you can do is like you can give like coaches praise for like helping you out during training, but you can't even really blame the coaches because you're the one in there. The coach is not in there. It's some things that the coaches may not see that you see in there. It's up to you to make the adjustments in the ring, and then come back to the coach and talk to him about it. And you know, it's like that's the team. The team is in the corner. But I just love boxing because it's a one-on-one sport, and I'm a sore loser. I'm a sore loser, so I can't do no team sports. So that's why I love boxing.
What brought you to Undisputed?
I felt I needed a big change from Ohio. Nothing against Jack Lowe, but I just couldn't fight the way how he wanted me to fight. So, you know, I just sat down and just thought about it. Like, me and Jack could have won a dozen other fights together. Like, who's know? Me and Jack probably could have never won no more fights together. No one really know, but I just felt I couldn't fight the way how he wanted me to fight. So I called my manager and called my promoter and told him it's a need for a change.
Yeah. What do you feel here? I mean, this is a pretty unique gym in that it's it's got this kind of like high-tech stuff going on, the hypoxic training, and you got access to Remy Korchemny, the sprint coach, and the snack dome. What is your take on adding all this other stuff to straight-up boxing?
Adding all this right here just make you better. Like, I was already good. My name is the Great. I'm still trying to get there. I'm not great, but I'm getting there.
That's like a level.
That's the level. Yeah, that's the level I have to live up to. Like, I know that's my name, that's my ring name, but it's pretty much I set standard for myself. Like, whenever someone speaks of Willie Nelson, I want them to always use great. So that's why I chose the name Great.
That's great. Talk to me about you and working with Brian and how you guys feel. It seems like you're starting to move and be more fluid now.
Yeah, working with Brian is actually a blessing because Brian, he was also a fighter. He did kickboxing, but he was also rangy. So it's easy for him to teach me about using my range and distance prior to a coach who is smaller, who never really had to use their range and distance. So it's things like from him being an ex-fighter that he knows from being in the ring and dealing with shorter guys. And sometimes, like, it's easy to tell someone, keep someone on the outside, but you can tell them all you want. If you can't show them, then how you really expect for them to know how to keep someone on the outside?
Yeah.
So Brian just showed me all that head movement. He just made sure I'm more fluent as a fighter, and like all together, a great fighter, like all together. Whether if I work on the inside, the outside, medium range, we just working on me just being a great complete fighter.
Talk to me about your opponent. I mean, you're several weeks out. We've really pushed it back now. What, like 7 weeks out?
Yeah, it's 7 weeks out. I'm training for like a month already now, 2 months now.
Wow.
So, my opponent, I know he's a young kid from Detroit.
Tony Harrison.
Yeah, Tony Harrison. I'm familiar with him. It's the same scenario I'm always faced with. Willie Nelson versus a puncher. And fortunately, Willie Nelson always wins versus a puncher. So it's the same story.
Is he a puncher, or is his record better than it actually is?
I only seen a few fights on him, and it's up to you to say for real. He fought a lot of, I ain't gonna say stiffs, but he fought a lot of guys that was past their prime.
Right, guys at the right time.
Yeah, he fought a lot of guys at the right time. So who's to say if he could really punch or not? But I'm taking that into consideration. After all, he had 21 wins, 18 knockouts, so he has some type of pop.
Yeah.
So so I already know they're going on his power and my aggressiveness.
Now your style, and your size. I mean, those are advantages of the things you're learning. But do you think experience is going to be a big thing here? You've been in with some
experience
people.
always going to be a big factor. No matter how much you spar in the ring, how much you prepare for this fight, you can't prepare for Willie Nelson. I'm sorry, not trying to sound arrogant, but you can't prepare for Willie Nelson. You can't find the guy who's going to be 6'4", strong and aggressive, and just come to fight. You can find a guy that's similar to Willie Nelson. You're not going to find a guy who could punch hard as Willie Nelson. You're not going to find no one that's physically strong as Willie Nelson. So, no matter what he do, he's not going to be ready for this fight. Only thing I say, he gonna come in the fight. I know he coming to fight. That's what I expect him to do. So, may the best man win that night.
Who's your favorite fighter?
My favorite fighter is Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield, Marvin Hagler. I'm about to give you my top five. My top five in the exact order would be Sugar Ray Robinson, from when I just fell in love with him from watching this film. My second one would be Evander Holyfield. My third favorite fighter would be Marvin Hagler. My fourth favorite fighter is Bernard Hopkins, and my least favorite is Meldrick Taylor. And as you see, all of them, they warriors and they love to fight. So I think that's why I got my fighting instincts from, the warrior, loving to fight, loving to get in and mix it up, because that's what all my favorite fighters love to do. So.